patient care and reducing the overall cost within the medical practice. Can I get a show of hands of how many people use mobile phones, smartphones today? If you look around the room and you see that, you'll see that those are your patients as well. And I created a slogan: engage with your patients while growing your practice and enhancing patient care, patient experience. Your customers are mobile. The question is your business, your practice? Some of the roles that mobile apps can play within your practice are listed below. I'll be touching on a few of them throughout the presentation. As you can see, the benefit of mobile apps, with a clinical tool, it gives you the information, education, putting it back into your patient's hands and allowing your patients to feel more connected. I'll be using that word a lot: connected and engaged throughout the presentation. It helps increase clinical information and a point of care when you have different components built within the app that patients can feel they can go right back to. Communication tool. Well, communication, sharing of data, like I said, clinical tools and stuff. You're creating a better patient experience. When you put things such as forms in there, and everything, just so you know what the forms are all HIPAA compliant. What I did was I wrote a software in just such a way that once they submit the forms, it automatically goes blank, and nothing is shared, saved within the form. So if they lost or their phone was stolen, none of that information can be shared. On the back end, my end, I don't ever see that information. I call it a pass-through, which means it goes right to the end user, which is the medical office, and they're the only ones who will actually see any medical forms. I do medical history forms, insurance forms, lab requests, special referrals, anything like that. And what it is going to create a better patient experience and a faster patient experience, which will help you in the long run maybe add another 1 or 2 or 3 more patients throughout the day, which will increase revenue. Patient engagement, this is all leads to patient engagement. I'll talk about loyalty, because loyalty creates a loyal following, which then creates referrals. Your best referrals of growing your practice is through your patient care, through your patients itself, and it will create a better workflow for your front office. And it will help save money by putting all the components back into your patient's hands, cultivating the patients into utilizing the app, and utilizing a lot of responsibility. As you can see, I put a couple of screenshots. I'll go in throughout the presentation, but these screenshots, like appointments and stuff, and occupational services, all that tell a little story about the practice and actually create an interaction with the practice. This next slide, you'll see mobile apps have increased triple digits since 2010. Why? Because a lot of businesses, medical practices, are starting to see the power of mobile apps, starting to see how mobile apps can change patient care, and it can also create a better patient experience within the practice. Most people want instant gratification in life. They want to have things that are at their fingertips. When they're not feeling good, when they need something, they want to do it real quick. And they also don't want to wait in the waiting room. So they want to have better experience. And businesses, as well as medical offices, are seeing the power of medical apps as opposed to just desktop computers. Here's an interesting slide. I don't have the one for iTunes, but it's relatively the same thing. And an average person spends 1 hour a day on mobile apps alone. Mobile apps are the future. Here are some of the points. I won't hit on every single one of them, but some of them, like you can attract new customers. How you can attract new customers? When you market your practices to everywhere to try to attract new patients, you can also attract them, have them download an app. When they see that, they can download their app immediately. I create a universal QR code where I merge QR codes together so people can download it immediately with a QR code and scan it, whether you have an iPhone and Android. And I also do it for, I make all the different apps for any kind of platform. I know how to do I've been trained into doing every single platform, but you can share the app. Within the app, you can actually share it through your social media, through text messaging, as well as email. It gives the ability for patients to have a faster response time, they feel more comfortable faster, and they feel more confident within the office. It will create growth revenue, which will be when the patients can feel like they can go in the office and they feel like they have the forms all filled out, and they have less of a wait time in the waiting room. It will help you in that turn because you can turn those rooms around faster. I like to relate it to restaurants. Restaurants like to turn those tables over faster. Therefore, I like to relate it to that. So rooms, you want to turn them over, and you'll be able to maybe add another patient or two throughout the day. This is an interesting slide. Mobile purchase decision making. You funnel the eyeballs, we turn the eyeballs into loyalty customers. How you create awareness to your mobile app. You can create consideration, preference, put all the information back into the patient's hands, creating more freedom within the practice and more confidence within the practice. Some of the components I listed below, not all, but you can put appointments, you can put an appointment scheduler, schedule reminder 24 hours before their next appointment, Q&A where they can interact with the doctor, questions and answers, forms we've spoke about before. This is all leading to loyalty, which is engaging in the practice. And when you feel the patients, when the patients feel like they're engaged within the practice, they feel more comfortable with you. Therefore, they're going to tell 10 or 20 of their friends, good or bad, family members, about your practice. Here, we won an award just recently as the top orthopedic app in the country and the top 15 best apps, medical apps in the country. We did certain things in the software that enhanced the app, and I actually found this by accident on the internet. Someone emailed me that you just won an award, and I didn't realize that by iMedical Apps. Here we're going to get to screenshots. Screenshots are this is a typical splash page when you open up an app, but to the right, I've taken all the buttons. If you're familiar with mobile apps, I've taken all the buttons off the screen. You're limited on real estate, so therefore what I've done is I've taken and if you downloaded the mobile app for the conference, you'll see how I created where the menu is off the screen, and anytime you want to take it back on the screen, you can take it, or you can I created a flipper experience, so you can flip through it like a magazine, if you will. This next one is on the left, you'll see is appointment, a schedule of appointments. You can make appointments from the app. You can also, whichever day of the month, you can go ahead and schedule the appointment. It's a step 1, 2, and 3, and then you automatically do. You automatically can schedule the appointments of any times that are open. It's all listed inside the app. Now, what I've always created in the app is one click, one touch. If you want to call the office right away, you touch it, you call right from the app. If you're lost going to the appointment, you can go right there. And I have several pages where I built GPS into the app, so it will find you wherever you are and take you right to the office. And no need to ever call the office and bottle down the front office with minor calls. Now you can all do it from the app. I try to put the information back into the patient's hands. This next one right here is a set appointment schedule reminder. It's an interesting thing. I wrote a code recently where it syncs into your calendar or your phone as well, the app. And the app will ping you. If you're familiar with pinging, it's like an alert. It's going to let you know 24 hours in advance of your next appointment. What this does is I actually volunteer in medical offices once a month so I can actually learn the workflow of a medical office. And this is very important. A lot of people spend $60 to $80 a month on business cards that they give out to their patients. That is unnecessary. It's wasteful spending. So I want to try to create ways to go paperless. So this appointment, this will ping their phone 24 hours in advance. No longer does the front office have to waste 2 hours calling the patients for their next appointment. The app will do it all for you 24 hours in advance. It will ping you. And the verbiage you see on the bottom, I can create any verbiage you want with that. Social media, social marketing is a great way. As you see, it's a screenshot, but it's a great way to incorporate in your app so the patients know of an every day-to-day things that are going into your medical practice. But this next slide right here, announcements and ask the doctor. Announcements is a great way for you to tell your patients that maybe there's coupons, or maybe there's events, or maybe you want to tell them come in for a physical or whatnot. Whatever is going on in your practice, I set it up almost like a calendar that will ping the phone. I don't know if anybody got pinged throughout this conference, but I also set it in the conference, so Robin has pinged you and let you know of different things that are going on through the conference, and that's sort of like what will happen. These are custom-made apps around your practice, and your icon will show up on the screen, so people will actually, it's branding you within their phone as well as other people. Ask the doctor is a great way. Again, it's HIPAA compliant because I don't put their last name on there. I only put the question and their first name on there, and this way you can respond back. Patients feel more connected with you. They feel more confident with your practice, and this is a way you don't have to call the front office and ask needless questions. All can be done through the app, And none of this is actually showed up on the app. You guys become admins of these 2 pages, and which means that you can go do a push-pull technology where you push this to everybody that you want it out to. And if you don't want to push it and have it pushed out to everybody, you can actually just put it onto the screen as well. You don't want to ping people's phones. Ask the doctor. You can publish, reply, or delete. You're going to get lots of questions from your patients, so you can go ahead, the office administrator or the doctor can answer these questions at any time they want. They're just sitting in a cloud waiting for you to answer them, and it's all mobile. So wherever you are, maybe you have a downtime, you can go ahead and answer these questions. Next one is desktops. Desktops versus mobile traffic. As you can see, since 2011, desktops have taken a 45% decline in the market, while mobile apps have taken a 50% increase in it. And why? Because most people, when they leave their home, when they leave their offices, they don't go home and go on their desktops. Most people have tablets or smartphones today, and that is what they're using to drive through web. Now, it doesn't mean that the web traffic is so much down as it is desktop. People are not using their desktops. They're relying more on their smartphones as well as their tablets. So they're using one or the other more. Implementing mobile apps into your medical practice. Well, patient care is very important. Conducting an interactive experience, a better patient experience within the medical app is having different components built into the app, such as a check-in feature. Maybe you're, for the patient, maybe the patient is running late to an appointment, they're coming from work. It allows the front office knowing that they're coming. The appointment features, as I spoke about, the appointment reminders or making appointments in the app, and the forms, which again are HIPAA compliant. It creates a better workflow for the front office by taking needless work away from the front office and putting it back into the patient's hands. Patients want to have more control over themselves and in the practice, as well as their appointments. So all you're doing is cultivating the patients to allow themselves to use the app and to basically take control of their medical experience, their office experience. Interactive support such as communication, such as the Q&A, questions and answers, announcements and alerts, what we spoke about before. And this is a great marketing tool where you can actually teach patients about your practice. Maybe there's a lot of patients that don't know certain aspects about your practice. All this can be built in the app. And you can share the app, mobile app via app, which means that you can share it with social media, Facebook, Twitter. You can share text messages. I have built so many different ways to share this app. And basically, you're gonna engage. When you engage your patients, you're gonna feel more connected, more confident within your practice. Here's an interesting thing. Mobile is immediate. People want immediate gratification, and that's why they're using apps today. 95% of people have checked their mobile phone within the last 5 minutes. And then you can see that 75 is checked in the last 15, and 64 is checked in the last 30 minutes. Most people spend up to 10 hours a week on their mobile phone apps. It's an interesting statistic I wanted to share with you. In conclusion, it's a win-win situation. When you create a win-win situation for patients as well as front office, it's so valuable. It's a timely, relevant communication. It's completely free to install, as well as it's immediate gratification. It's very convenient. It alerts the patients of updates. You can make appointments, Q&A, all the different things. You can put the forms, any kind of forms that you have that you want to put in there. I turn it into HTML so people can submit forms of any kind in there. Even though that I might not put certain forms on here, anything that you could think of, I could. And I build them custom-made for your mobile practice. Every medical practice is a little different. Check-in feature for appointments. Great for medical offices, too, because they can reach all their patients instantly, whether it be iPhone or a smartphone. Influence behavior, which means you're influencing them by letting them know with everything going on in your practice and other aspects within your practice. You can drive more foot traffic and more revenue when you create a faster experience within the office and a better patient experience. Therefore, you might be able to add 2 or 3 more patients throughout the day. Less time constraints in the front office, putting the component back into the patient's hands. There's no need to sacrifice any margins. There's so much added value. When you engage with your patients, you're creating retention and you're creating loyalty follow-up. You can enhance rewards programs if there is such a thing needed in your particular practice. And then again, forms that are in the app. I keep repeating myself, but they're all HIPAA compliant. Everybody at the show today gets a free mobile app. I don't charge the upfront fee. The charge normally would be like, thousands of dollars. Everybody at the phone, at this medical conference, if you'd like, on the outside or in the conference room, everybody gets a free mobile app. All you have to do is give me your card and I can call you next week on that. But mobile apps play a substantial role now as well as in the future. Many apps are readily available on the operating system. Mobile apps are makes you aware of the medical practice, all the needs that are going on. It's an opportunity to educate your patients and let them know about everything that's going on in your practice. And you can update these apps periodically throughout the every month, every week, however way you want. And my name is William Goldfarb. I want to thank you so much for giving me the time today and going over medical apps. If you have any questions, I'll be outside.